Hey everybody, it's Holly here today with a new video for MarkerPop. Today we're going to be using Stampingbella's Tropical Squidgies. I'm also going to be using the Mama Elephant Polaroid Fun Set, and I'm going to be using the MFT Blueprints 15, just using the large rectangle there, and I'm also using the Doodlebug Fun in the Sun paper pack. So I'm going to start out. I've already die cut the Polaroid images from the Polaroid Fun Set from some of that Doodlebug paper. I cut the large and the small. And I'm just going to make some tick marks on a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock here. Or, I'm sorry, it's actually Express It blending cardstock is what I'm going to use the coloring on. I'm going to be using my Copics. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Mini Misty, and I'm going to put the images in here and stamp them. And I'm just lining them up to make sure the part of the image that I want will fit within that Polaroid frame. So I'm going to go ahead and stick each image in and go ahead and use some Lawn Fawn black ink. This is the new ink from Lawn Fawn that's Copic friendly. When you're using Express It blending cardstock, most of the black inks dry pretty well, but I would recommend just giving it a second or two to kind of set permanently. Sometimes if it's a little bit wet, you'll go over with your Copic and it'll smear a little bit, so I just let it sit or hit it with your heat tool just briefly. So this stamp set comes with two images, a large one and a small one. And then it also comes with a sentiment set that I've stamped, and I went ahead and cut the sentiment up into little pieces. So we're going to go ahead and erase my tick marks, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with our Copics. And I do go ahead and hit that ink with a little bit of the heat tool just to make sure that it's nice and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring with my Copics. I am coloring with colors based off the packaging. Marker Geek does a lot of the coloring for Stampingbella, so I just went and found what colors she used, and I just used the same colors to go ahead and color the images in. I will put the colors listed here for you in case you want to follow along or color this image in yourself. And I basically just used whatever colors are on the packages. You could just match them up the best of your ability as well if you don't have all of the Copics. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep coloring, and then I'll be back when I'm all done doing that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish up the card. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Polaroid square and I'm going to lay that over my image and make some little tick marks as to where I need to trim those down. I'm going to go ahead and trim them to be about the size of the Polaroid square because I cut that out of some pattern paper, so it's pretty flimsy, so having the piece of thicker cardstock behind that will give it a little bit more stability. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my paper trimmer to trim that out. And then once I have both of them trimmed, I'm going to go ahead and add some W Copics to add a little bit of ground underneath the larger image. And then I'm going to go back over the larger image and the smaller image and add some BGs around the image just to create a little bit of a blue background. Then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the little image squares to the back of those Polaroid pieces with some some Ranger Multimedia Matte. I'm just putting a very thin layer. This way, if any were to squeeze out, it would be nice and matte colored and you wouldn't really see it. But if you make a thin layer, you won't really have any problem with that. I'm just putting that on the back side there. And then I went ahead and die cut a piece of the Fun in the Sun pattern paper using that large square stitched rectangle from the Blueprints 15. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that directly onto a turquoise A2 standard size card base. And then I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of each of the Polaroid images, and I'm going to go ahead and put them onto the front of the card, offsetting each one a little bit and overlapping some. I'm going to go ahead and add some Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen to the insides of the sunglasses and the little pineapple top and the little flower in her hair. And then I went ahead and stamped the sentiment onto a piece of white cardstock, and then I trimmed each of the individual words out. I was just trying to figure out here where I want to place them. I finally decided to put them on a bit lower down. So I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape to the back of each of those little words. And then I'm going to adhere them onto the front of the card. Kind of thought I wanted to add a little bit of sparkling sequins to the card, but I think the background was a little too busy for that, so I went ahead and changed my mind on that. But this pretty much finishes up my card for today, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you back again in a week or two, so have a great rest of the week, and thanks for watching.